Hello everyone, welcome back to JD Science Prep. Today we are doing some more velocity calculations. They'll be a little bit more complex than my first video on this topic. Today we need to do some conversions before we figure out the answer to these questions. So we got 3 examples. Today let's begin. So number 1, it says a vehicle travels 7,200 meters in 5 minutes, and it asks what is the vehicle's speed in kilometers per hour. So a couple things here. We do have a distance and we also have a time. However, the question asks for a speed in kilometers per hour. So that is important because our distance right now is in meters and our time is in minutes. So we will need to make some conversions before we figure out that final speed in kilometers per hour. So first off, I would like to take my distance and I'm going to convert it to kilometers because that's what my question wants me to do. It eventually wants me to find the speed in kilometers per hour. So we'll take 7,200 meters. We will work with the time sign line strategy. We'll have our unit that we want on top, which is kilometers. So I will put 1 kilometer on top, and on the bottom we will have 1,000 meters. Remember, there's always 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So basically what we are doing, because the 1,000 is on the bottom, we have to divide by 1,000. So we have 7,200 divided by 1,000, and that's just going to get us 7.2 kilometers. So we know our distance. Now we have to figure out our time. So we need to convert 5 minutes into hours. So we'll go time sign line. We want our unit that we want on top. So we have 1 hour, and for every 1 hour, there is 60 minutes. So we are basically just dividing 5 by 60, which will get us 0.083, and that 3 repeats, and that is hours. So we have one more step. We have our distance, we have our time. Now let's divide them to get our speed. So remember, we have velocity, or speed in this case, equals distance over time. I'm just going to split this section up a little bit and we'll just input our known values. So our distance is 7.2 kilometers. Our time is 0.083 repeating hours. And if we type this into our calculator, we will get an answer of, let's just take a look here. You should get something around 86.4 kilometers per hour. With significant figures, I probably just want to keep 2. So let's say 86 kilometers per hour. That's going to be our final answer right there. All right, let's move on to example number 2. Number 2 says a cyclist travels 26 kilometers in 1 hour and 20 minutes. What is the cyclist's speed in meters per second? So same thing as last time. We have a distance, we have a time, and we want our answer to be in meters per second. So let's take our 26 kilometers, set it up with a time sign line. Units that we want on top. Because we want meters per second, we probably want our distance to be in meters. So we'll put 1,000 meters on top. And we'll have kilometers on the bottom. Notice our units do cross out there. And we should get a distance of 26,000 meters. Let's move on to our time. So a couple things. We have 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I am first going to do the hour, and I will convert that into seconds here. So we have just 1 hour, and we'll use the time sign line strategy. And first off, if you want to go from hours to minutes, you will have 60 minutes on top, 1 hour on the bottom. Now, if we were to stop there, we would be in minutes, so we do need that one more step. So if we're in minutes right now, we need to get into seconds on this second time sign line. So we will have 60 seconds for every 1 minute. Let's see if our units cross out. And they do. We should be left with seconds. So we'll just go 1 multiplied by 60 times 60. And you should get 3,600 seconds. Now remember, we're not quite done yet because we still have this 20 minutes to deal with. So we have 20 minutes, time sign line, and for every 1 minute, there is 60 seconds. The unit that we want should be on top. So seconds on top, 1 minute on the bottom. And we will type in 20 times 60, which will get us 1,200 seconds. So we have to add these 2 times up to get our total time. So I'm just going to do that right here. We have 3,600 seconds plus 1,200 seconds, and that is going to get us 4,800 seconds. 4,800 seconds. So now we have all our conversions done. We have our distance, we have our time, and we have both units. We have meters and we have seconds. So let's use our trusty V equals D over T to finally figure out this question here. So we have velocity or speed equals distance, which was 26,000 meters over 4,800 seconds. And if we just type that into our calculator, let's take a look here. So 26,000 divided by 4,800, you should get 5.41 meters per second. And you know what? Let's round this to 2 significant figures. I'm going to say we have an answer of 5.4 meters per second. That should be our final answer. Make sure to get those units correct. Make sure to check the question for which units it wants. And let's move on to our last example. So it says a person has an average speed of 11 kilometers per hour while on a 200-minute run. How far did the person run? So you know what? It doesn't actually give us a specific unit here, but I think realistically, I think kilometers would be a good unit to measure distance in. Since this is quite a long run, it's 200 minutes, and they are moving at 11 kilometers per hour. So I think we can probably leave our velocity or speed in kilometers per hour, but I think the major thing that we will have to switch up is our time, because we have 200 minutes right now, and in order to work with kilometers per hour, we should probably switch minutes to hours. So let's do that. So we have 200 minutes, and we would like to get to hours, so we'll put hours on top. So we have 1 hour, and for every hour there is going to be 60 minutes. And let's just type that in right now. So we have 200 divided by 60, and just make sure units cross off. We're left with hours. You will get 3.3 repeating. Okay, and we now have our speed in the correct units, and we also have our time in the correct units. So we can go ahead and manipulate this formula to figure out our distance, since that's what the question wants us to do. So we want distance, we have to multiply t up, and we should end up with a final equation of d equals v multiplied by t. Now all we have to do is plug everything in. So we have distance equals velocity, which is 11 kilometers per hour, and that's being multiplied by our time, which is 3.3 repeating. And if you plug that into your calculator, so 11 multiplied by 3.3 repeating, you should get somewhere in the range of 36.6. And remember, our units are kilometers right now. And you know what, for sig fig's sake, let's round this to 2. Oops, that's a bad 7. So 37 kilometers. So to answer this question, the runner ran 37 kilometers in this 200-minute run. All right, that is the video. I hope it has helped.